Peace, y'all. So I just finished my first half shift at work since learning that my son to cloud the transition to the spirit world. It was okay. It was a little rough here and there. Like, I'm feeling emotional right now even, but unfortunately I'm poor. So I have to go to work regardless to what I'm feeling or what's going on in my world. And though in saying that, I've also been extremely blessed because I was able to take off for an entire month. So that was cool because there's so much that needs to be done. And then my father passed away 2 weeks after. So dealing with his affairs as well as my son's affairs, it's been a lot. And still trying to hold down a family and honor even some of his friends or associates. It is what it is. Some people, feel like or have expressed to me that, I need to not be on social media and all that kind of thing. Because, I don't know, the ones who have said stuff to me, I think that a lot of people, my own opinion, I think that a lot of people have been conditioned to always worry about what white folk are thinking about black and brown people, or always so on edge, like, oh, the government gonna find out, and all this kind of anything the government want to know about you, the government already know, first of all. But my perspective of all this is a reality. People want to talk revolution but don't want to be revolutionaries, in my opinion, again. And so all this comes with it. My son being who he is and who he was here on this plane, he gave his life when he was here, and Allahu Alam, Allah knows best, he gave his life because of who he was in the struggle. And not for nothing, I'm the one, alhamdulillah, that was given the task or whatever, the job to mold him into that. For whatever it's worth, he didn't become who he was because of a man. He became who he was because of a woman. And me putting him, by the will of Allah, putting him in with other men who can show him things, how to do this and how to do that, and as well as women, majority women. And so, I raised him with the idea of, if you see it wrong, you have to speak up against it. That's Islam. In Islam, we believe that from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, that if you see it wrong, then you have to speak out against it. If you are in a situation where you can't speak out, like you have to fight against it. If you can't fight against it, then you have to in some way speak out against it. And the very least of faith is to hate it in your heart. And so I taught this to my son, to Klaus, whose actual name, his birth name that I gave him is Murid. And so Murid meaning entirely devoted, and is also the word used for student with Sufis. But I, instill that in him by the will of Allah again. If there's something wrong, you have to speak out against it. And that I also told him, especially when he was younger and us coming up, where we came up, everybody knows, everybody that's from, hood areas, whatever, it's very easy for young people to get caught up in all the drama and the fitna out there in the streets. And so I would just always try to instill in him when he was, had that teen angst. And, he had things to be upset about, of course. But I instilled in him that it was foolish to die for something out there in the streets that was not worthy of dying for, or being, killed for, or what have you. That if you're going to have to die, then it should be for a cause. And alhamdulillah, he did that. And to me, that is what a revolutionary is. When you fight against something to make things better for humanity as best you can. And that's what he did. And he has not fallen. I've taken rank. I am my son's successor. And so I've started a nonprofit organization called Beyond Clouds to, continue his work, because that's what we do. And so being on social media, people always want to hide in the shadows, in my opinion. People like to hide in the shadows and do things or not do things, or, talk about doing things and what have you. But that is not, to me, everything should not be underground or over to the side so no one can see. Some things have to be out in the forefront. And mourning, grieving our martyrs, I don't believe that they need to be, again, over in the corners, over in the shadows. This is a reality. And so many people, even if your loved one that has transitioned is not a martyr, wasn't an activist or anything, it's pain. And for us to, pretend like it's not real, come on, man. All this ish that's on the internet that ain't real, this is real. And these are the things that people have to go through. And these are the things that moms in particular, because I'm a mom, talking, dealing with this as a mother, this is real. Trying to push forward, no matter how many people you may have in your corner or not. There's still the day-to-day. You still gotta smile around folks, so that they won't be sad. Or you still have to keep information to yourself for fear of other people having to bear that cross with you also, or carry that hurt and that pain with you. Suffice to say, I'ma do what I want to do anyway, per my norm. But yeah, man, going back to work today is rough. But it's what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, also the reality is that we are still on this side. We're still here on this plane, the physical world. And to be physical, you must eat physical food and drink physical water and live in a physical home, and help take care of your physical grandchildren and all that kind of stuff. So take it, push it down, and push it down, and keep it moving until later tonight when I go home and I can release and call on my Lord to soothe me. But